Well, I figured now is as convenient a time as any to have a chat about kind of what I think about this BMW F900 since I've had it. It's a bit of a different beast to what I've been used to. I've got to really enjoy my adventure bikes. Over the last few years, I think it's becoming a bit of an up and coming thing that a lot of us are enjoying. That freedom of it, kind of go everywhere, do everything. Jack of all trades motorcycle, which is good. So the first one I had was the BMW R1250, which is still one of my bikes of choice, to be fair, but it's not always been, in my limited knowledge and understanding and opinion, the perfect bike for all situations, based on what a lot of you will know is the weight of the machine. 268 kilos before you stick a passenger or luggage on it. It's a big lump, and also it's quite wide. It's quite, the cylinder heads are obviously a point where you can get stuck in some areas. So it's not the perfect bike for all situations. I had the Himalayan for a while. Now that Himalayan really was an amazing bike. I enjoyed that so much. And I do regret getting rid of it, actually. Not just because of the amount of money I lost on that, but I do regret getting rid of it because it was almost the perfect, like this Salisbury Plain trail bike, tracks and trails, but you could still tour on it. You could still load it up like a bit of a mule and send it off into the wild and go and do some travelling on it. Things I didn't like about the Himalayan, bearing in mind the price point of the thing, it was like 6,000 quid for the bike. So they're not complaints, they're just observations. Cruise control would be lovely to have. The engine, I think, is well known. It had a bit of a vibration, a bit of a quite a pronounced vibration at motorway speeds as well, which is a bit annoying, where I found particularly in my right hand. After an hour or so's riding, you get off at a service station, your hand would almost have pins and needles tingling in it. This, almost similar. It's not perfect. I'll get onto that in a minute. But for the price point of what you were getting was a lot of bike for your money with the Himalayan, and very fond of it. The only reason I got rid of it was because I had a bit of a stupid decision. I've always wanted a Honda Fireblade. I always wanted something like that to try and give it a go, knowing damn well that I wasn't really a sports bike kind of guy. It doesn't interest me. So I Part-X'd the Himalayan in, got the Fireblade, did a load of work on the Fireblade, and decided I really hate this. I don't want it. It's just not my style. It's the bike I'd walk into the garage with a cup of tea at the end of the day and just go, wow, that's gorgeous, I love that, and then walk away and never use it. And it became most notable really when I lost the 900, when I lost the 1250. It was just like, I haven't got a bike I want to go and ride. I don't want to ride the Fireblade. I can't bring the Fireblade somewhere like this, which is my natural motorcycling home. So I had to go, and that's when I test rode the Africa Twins. A lot of you suggested I tried. I did test ride the Triumph. I never actually talked about that one, but that was nice. And then the 900, this BMW 900. Now I'm a big fan of BMW. I've now got 3 of the bloody things. For all of their things that people don't enjoy, but each their own. There's always people that aren't happy with particular brands. That's just the way it goes. But they're all just as good as each other, right? Anyway, on to the 900. What are my first thoughts? So when I first got it, first rode it, kind of clicked with it instantly, thought it was really, really good. It's a very powerful off-road bike. So having played around with the enduro modes and spoken to people and looked a lot online, I'm using the Enduro Pro mode, which just means programmable. It doesn't mean professional or anything like that. It's just programmable. And I've got the throttle response dialed right back into the rain mode. It's a really progressive throttle, so it's really soft on that. And that's made a huge difference to it, actually. It's made it very nice to ride off-road for my abilities. Initially, it did have, in the run-in period, I'm about 1,000 miles in on it now, in various terrains, so reasonable experience with it. The vibration, the engine, because it's a Chinese-built engine with Lonsin, which BMW have been working with them for about 20-odd years, so I'm not saying the engine's shit at all. They've been doing that for quite some time. It's an 895 parallel twin, 270 crank, something like that. So it sounds nice. And it performs really, really well. It's got 105 horsepower. The bike's 217 kilos. It carries its weight well, for sure. It's not as top heavy as I hear people say. It's quite top heavy, but I find it okay. Maybe that's because I'm used to the big 1250. You do have that vibration, so it's very similar. It's not as bad as the Himalayan was by any stretch, but yeah, there is that vibration at motorway speeds. But it's almost like this morning. It's subtle enough almost where I rode for 2 hours straight this morning from Kent to Amesbury. And by the time I got off the end, I noticed that, my hands had that sort of pins and needles, but it was a lower level, but it was about 5 minutes of my hands being a bit uncomfortable. When I first rode the bike, it was very much on the right-hand side. Like the left mirror wasn't vibrating at all, the right mirror kind of was. But I don't know how this happens, but over the running period, it's kind of centered up. So I've got a little bit on both sides, but it's more than manageable. It's not a complaint, it's just an observation, it's not a problem. And again, the cruise control is a real help for that, because you can just switch the cruise control on and just, give your hand 2 or 3 minutes of not having hold of it. The brakes are great. I've noticed the calipers on the front brake on this are the same 2-pot floating calipers that the 1250 has on the rear brake, just 2 sets of them on the discs, and then the rear caliper on this is just a single pot thing. Perfectly fine. All of them, no issues with the brakes at all. The brakes respond really nicely. The suspension is a little bit of a showstopper, I must admit. I did spec it with the kind of the high-end enduro shower. I don't know how you pronounce it. The Showa suspension on it with the adjustable enduro suspension front and back. It's fucking brilliant. It's sharp off-road, and I guess this is where adventure bikes fall into that bracket of they're a jack of all trades, aren't they, and kind of a master of none. They're expected to be able to do a bit of everything. So the 1250 is very soft on the road and quite soft off-road, almost to the point where I think it's in the enduro mode on the 1250, it's almost a bit too soft for me. I feel like you could bottom it out fairly quickly. I could be wrong. I've never really ridden it hard enough to find out, but that's just a feeling I have. Whereas this, the suspension really, really shows its prowess when you bring it off-road. On-road, it's a little bit sharp. I don't know whether that's the high-speed damping, or the high-speed compression is a little bit hard. So like the little bumps, it's not really damping them out because it's not responding to them quite so well. So it's a bit sports bike-esque when you're riding it on the road. The back's a bit softer, but when you bring it off-road, a slower speed with the more vertical undulations, I mean, it really, really does a fantastic job. It doesn't bounce around. I think I've accidentally set it up quite nicely. I've gone a few clicks back and forth from where the factory stock was for me, considering myself a reasonably average size and weight of rider. But so far, I mean, it's been fine, and I like it. So from that point of view, it's really good. The 21-inch front wheels, I think, does make a difference. It's hard to kind of explain the exact nuances of why it feels different, but it does feel different. It's much more motocrossy from what I was used to as a teenager. The Himalayan was the same. It just seems to track better off-road, and you seem to have a bit more power in that front end to guide it around. Again, notwithstanding my general lack of ability. Power is ample. It's got a very rattly back end, and I think that's the chain rattling around more than anything, because it's quite a slack chain. I think the spec is 30 to 50 mil of slack, which is, by sports bike standards, that's really loose. By sort of off-road standards, I guess that's kind of middle of the road. The fact it comes with the Acro as standard is lovely. That's really nice. It fits with the Lone Rider rackless bags really, really well. Obviously, it's not quite as comfortable as the 1250, but that's where I guess the comparison, you can start drawing conclusions. The 1250 is a big distance, big kilometres adventure tourer, probably a bit more road biased with its comfortable seat and its cruise control and its big screens, which, by the way, Alex and I have now can change both of ours to these small Puig racing screens. Love them. It's transformed the look of the bike. It's made it look like a little bit less of an old man's tour, a bit more sporty, and I really like the way it works with the peaked hat. Speaking of, so I, somewhat foolishly it turns out, went, when I spec'd it, to have the slightly bigger tourer screen, because I thought a bit of wind protection would be nice. Regret that decision, in all honesty, because I don't mind, coming from the unfair naked bikes world. I think I've said before, I don't mind wind in the face and the chest. What I don't like is turbulent wind in the face and the chest, and I'm sure a lot of you will agree with that. Whereas this setup with the peaked helmet, you do get a pretty significant but a fairly low level constant vibration of the peak, and it's a little bit buffety in your face and your chest, and that's a bit annoying. So I went and asked BMW the other day, going, "Oh, how much is the small tinted screen that you can get in the trophy edition version?" And I laughed at them when they said it was 190 quid from BMW. It's like, fuck that, I'm walking off for a piece of fucking perspex. You can piss right off. So I went on Pyramid, I think it is again, and I've ordered one from Puig, which was about 80 quid, which is still a lot for a piece of perspex, but it's the smaller screen without the little winglets on the side, in the hope that that'll increase the wind in the face, but it'll reduce the vibration, the buffeting, which is the bit I don't like. So generally speaking, It's really good. I really like the preload adjustment on it. So it's gone are the days of the C-spanner where you're having to crawl underneath it and adjust the mechanical nut on the bottom of the spring. This has got basically a mechanical version of the 1250's ESA, electronic suspension adjustment. So it's a hydraulic thing. You wind it. I'm sure it's not. I think it was ZF forks on this, so it's not a BMW thing, I don't think. But it's the first bike I've had where you can just wind it in and it's a hydraulic preload adjustment, which is really nice. Chain's good. It's got this M Enduro maintenance-free chain on it, but I don't believe there's such a thing really. Yeah, I think really overall, my opinion is I'm really, really impressed with it. I've thoroughly enjoyed it today in this environment. It's been quite confidence-inspiring, taking it through particularly a lot of these puddles and deeper. I don't want to use puddles because it felt like a freaking lake. Call them water crossings, shall we? Where I wasn't really sure what it was going to be, and I just went, fuck it, we're going for it. And I wonder if the front wheel helped a bit with that as well. It comes as standard with the Metzler Karoo 4s, which is a tyre I'm sure we all know. It's the first bike I've ridden. It's not true. I did ride the off-road skills day when the bike had Metzler Karoo 4s on it, but I don't really remember much about it. So this is my first bike that I've had with the Karoo 4s on. I mean, they're a dual sport tyre. I like them a lot. They're probably about a 60-40 off-road tyre, I guess. Let's call them a 50-50, but yeah, again, jack of all trades, master of none. I've had, which have changed now, I've changed the 1250s tyres. I wanted to get some Metzler Karoo 4 streets for that one, but I don't think we can find them at the minute. I don't know if they're in the UK yet or not. So I've got an email reminder coming when they're in stock, but I have changed them from the Dunlop Trailmax Raids that I had on the 1250. Now the tyre was great. I had no issues. I was recommended it by quite a few people, and I would recommend it myself to anybody. But when I was finding I was doing a bit more road riding than off-road riding on the 1250, it's a very noisy tyre on the road. It's howling along. And Alex, my mate, sort of commented several times when we rode to Italy and the Alps on there, just you could hear me coming from behind with this howling tyres. I don't seem to have the same issue with these Karoo 4s. They have a little bit of a rumble on the road, but it's nothing compared to what those Dunlops are. And they seem fine. I don't know. I'm not experienced enough with a wide enough range of bikes and tyres and situations to give much of a formulated opinion. This is just my own thoughts. But no, I'm ultimately really happy with it. I've got a bash plate coming for it, hopefully in the next few days. I've got the smaller screen. Obviously, I've got tinted because it just looks cooler as well. Smaller screen, hopefully help with the wind buffeting. What else? I've got some R&G crash protection covers for the engine coming as well, because I don't have crash bars on this, and to be honest, rightly or wrongly, I don't want to put crash bars on it, but I don't want to add the weight particularly. That may be a decision I regret later on, but to be honest, the kind of off-roading I've done today is about what I want to do. I don't really want anything more extreme or ridiculous than what I'm doing today. So yeah, big fan. Definitely get out and ride one. Definitely get out and have a go. Sounds good. The engine's got a bit of a rattle to it, so the exhaust note is nice. You stand around just the back of it. You stand the front of it. There's no induction note on the engine. Again, this is why this doesn't matter, but it's just, as the petrol heads we often are, we like it to sound good. So it sounds good under power. It's got a nice little rundown burble with a little backfires here and there, and but it does sound a bit rattly at the front end. There's a bit going on there, but whatever, it's fine. Worth mentioning the gearbox. This is now that I know how to use the quick shift down. I never knew. It never really occurred to me that the throttle had to be closed for you to quick shift down for the auto throttle to do its bit. Now that I know it does that, I've tried it on the 1250 as well. It's brilliant. I love it. I find myself using the clutch a lot less now. So, I mean, as far as gearboxes go for quick shifting up and down, I'm doing it on this more often than not now. And actually, I'm really liking that. The gearbox is pretty smooth. It's not really missed a beat, in fairness. So yeah, I mean, overall, given what I've done with it so far, I think it's great. Really enjoying it. So keep bashing the miles out on it. Keep bashing out the experience with it. keep putting it in situations I'm going to scare myself in. Like today, I was not ready for the amount of water that I was hit with so early on today, but that was actually really good fun. So hopefully that'll come out well. So yeah, closing thoughts, definitely worth a go. If you like that kind of thing, go and have a go on it. It's a good bit of kit. And yeah, here's to plenty more miles on that one. So that's 15 minutes of me waffling on now, which I'll probably cut down into considerably less than that. But we'll go and drink the coffee, and I think we'll crack on. So see you in a bit.